Boxing on the edge.
Okay, welcome back to Boxing on the Edge. This coming Saturday, the 18th of December, we have a pretty good fight. Artur Beterbiev faces Marcus Browne for the IBF and WBC light heavyweight titles. Those are Beterbiev's titles. Marcus Browne is the mandatory challenger. That fight is in Canada, in Montreal, coming up this Saturday. Excellent fight. It kind of went under the radar because there's been hardly any media coverage. I've been looking for press conferences, couldn't find any. There is a press conference tomorrow, but they haven't even done any online press conferences or nothing like that, at least none that I could find. So it is this Saturday, and it should be a really, really good fight. Like I said, the belts are on the line. Both guys have been a little bit inactive in the last couple of years, so thankfully they're both going to get to fight this Saturday. So let's start with the human bear, Beterbiev, who is a savage man, to be honest with you. He is a beast of a dude. Very, very strong, very, very powerful, comes in shape all the time, very disciplined, extremely strong, has a good amateur background, and comes to fight and puts it on his opponents, every round. He's a pressure fighter, but he's a very, he's calculated. He can box a little bit because of his amateur background, but he does like to put a lot of pressure on, and he does like to, throw a good variety of punches, but he uses his sheer sort of physique and strength to impose his will and his ability on his opponents. So I'm looking forward to him doing that. He has a very sneaky right hand, which he can change the velocity on and go upstairs and downstairs with it. I think that's going to be his key punch. We'll get onto the fight plan a little bit later on, but Beterbiev is, he's going to do that. He's going to put a lot of pressure on Marcus Browne, and he is a little susceptible himself too, though. So he's been dropped in the past, he's been hurt in the past, but what makes him quite special, I think, is that that never deters him. Obviously there are other fighters that do that, and also let it be known, he is the only champion with a 100% knockout record. So 16 wins, 16 knockouts. He's been a little bit inactive as well. He's had a few outside the ring issues, not like personal issues per se, but like legal issues with his promoters and stuff. I remember watching him a long time ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, when he first got brought into America, and he was, extremely powerful and raw, and he just looked like, a dangerous man. But since then he's only had, he's 36 years old. He's only had 16 professional fights, so he's had a lot of inactivity and a lot of stuff going on outside the ring. So it's nice to see him back, and I'm looking for a good performance this coming Saturday. So moving on to Marcus Browne. Now, he's also a former Olympian, and if I didn't mention that Beterbiev was an Olympian, he was an Olympian, and he has been for a while. But Marcus Browne was also an Olympian, 2012 for the USA. Decent professional record. His only loss is to Jean Pascal, who actually tested positive for PEDs after the fight. So make of that what you will. That was an interesting fight too. It actually ended in I think it was a technical decision, and Jean Pascal got the win because there was I forget how that ended, but it went down as a Marcus Browne loss. But Browne got dropped a couple of times in that fight and hurt, and Jean Pascal old-manned him a little bit, to be honest. But Marcus Browne, very fast, quite powerful himself, southpaw. He's got some boxing ability too, and he put a good performance in against Badu Jack. He also fought, they both have a common opponent in, I'm going to butcher his name, Rajovic maybe. His nickname's Hot Rod. We'll just go with Hot Rod. It's way easier. But he struggled with Hot Rod. Hot Rod sort of, not manhandled him, but bullied him a little bit, dropped him, definitely hurt him, and they ended up giving the win to Marcus Browne. At the time, that was considered controversial. And then Beterbiev fought Hot Rod and destroyed him. So, you know, obviously we know styles make fights, but make of that what you will. The common opponent they had, it favoured Beterbiev very largely. So Marcus Browne is he's got a good opportunity. He's the WBC mandatory, because when it first got announced, I wasn't sure of that, or I wasn't aware of that, and I was like, wow, that's part of high risk, low reward for Beterbiev. And, you know, a good opportunity for Browne, albeit a very dangerous one as well. So I was like, wow, fair play to both of them for fighting each other. But Browne's the mandatory. Good opportunity to make a statement, really, you know, going into Montreal, fighting the beast or the human bear, or that savage man that probably hunts his own wild animals in Russia and eats the heart for breakfast. You know, he's just a fierce dude, and I'm very excited for this fight. I think I'm surprised it hasn't got the coverage. It's on ESPN Plus, and they've dropped the ball a little bit on the media coverage on this one. So hopefully they can do a good job tomorrow and get the public interested, because it is a good fight. Moving on to the actual fight plan itself and the prediction, I think, you know, Beterbiev is going to do what he normally does and always does, and puts a lot of pressure on and pushes people on the back foot, and, you know, slowly break his opponents down. He's a little clumsy. He walks straight in with his hands down at times, so he is there, you know, to get shots landed on him. And Marcus Browne has got some good pace and speed about him, and some power as well. He's got a very good right hook, and he's a good combination puncher. He does get stuck in the pocket sometimes, and he gets, you know, a little complacent himself and leaves his hands dropped. They both have slight balance issues. Marcus Browne has this very strange way of leaving his lead leg very straight. His legs aren't bent that well. Beterbiev doesn't move that well in terms of his balance issues, so it could be a messy, wild fight, you know, especially in the clinches. And Browne has this sort of athletic yet uncoordinated athletic ability, which he can spring out punches out of nowhere, because he has got good and bad coordination. It's very strange, but he's very athletic. But he does have some balance issues too. They both do, like I said. It could be a messy, scrappy fight. And I think, you know, the messier, the scrappier, and the more the close up it is, will favour Beterbiev. He does like to bully people. He does like to put, you know, punches everywhere. He mixes his punches up well, but that right hand is going to be the key for Beterbiev, you know, especially down to the body. And then he'll loop it round, he'll come in straight, he'll mix up the speed and the velocity. He's very sneaky with it. And for Marcus Browne, so Beterbiev just has to be himself, I think. I think this fight is for Browne to really win. He's got to really be disciplined and fight, you know, walk on that tightrope, use his jab, move. If he's going to load up combinations, get in there and then pivot out to the side, tie him up, and do that for 12 rounds. The question is, can he do that for 12 rounds? I don't think he can. He's with the new trainer. He's with Derek James, who has had Errol Spence, you know, since he first started turning pro. Well, prior to that, actually, but he's been with Spence for his whole pro career. Spence is also a southpaw. Marcus Browne is a southpaw. They have similar styles, if you think about it. They're sort of boxer punchers, southpaws, you know, like to bang a little bit. You know, Spence uses his jab a bit more, but I think if Derek James can sort of employ that and get that as the game plan, and teach Browne to be more disciplined and use that more, I think Browne's got a chance to, you know, I mean, I say a chance. He has to do that for the whole fight, and he has to, I think he can hurt Beterbiev for sure, and I think he might even do that, and he's got to maybe even come out early and get some respect, you know what I mean? Although I'm not sure if that will really bother Beterbiev that much. He doesn't seem the type to really get flustered by any shots to the head. he just keeps coming. So I personally think in the mid to late rounds it's going to get a bit heated for Browne. I think he's going to find himself in some slightly deep water. And I think Beterbiev is going to take him out, you know, between like 7 and 9. But if Browne can be a disciplined fighter and box on the back foot and use his power in spots, you know, he certainly has an opportunity to take it to the cards. Will he do enough to win in Montreal? I doubt it, but I think this fight is going to be quite messy and quite violent at times. I think both guys might end up getting hurt. One of them definitely will get hurt. And it should be a good fight. It's very entertaining, and I'm disappointed in the media coverage, you know. So, but that being said, I am excited for this fight, and I hope you guys are too. And if you have any opinions about this fight yourself, please shoot it in the comment section. And that's it from me, Boxing on the Edge. I hope you have a great weekend, or a great week and a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.
Boxing on the edge.